Today, we'll be watching the EDP4. I seen Fuck DH. You know, this guy's pretty good at explaining things. He's probably the one of the best YouTubers that do this shit. So, yeah, I'm saying, I don't want to glaze. Not trying to glaze. Okay, let's just get to the fucking video. All right, let's get to the fucking video, man.
Okay, twin, I think it's finally time for us to talk about this EDP445 documentary, because I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the craziest watches I've had in a very long time. This is the most candid version of EDP I've had to witness, because if you didn't grow up on the internet or you didn't witness EDP when he first got exposed, but for the longest time he would always deny what he got caught doing. He would always deny the fact that he was a well, I mean, he's still denying the fact that he's a but in this documentary he is very open with the fact that he is attracted to young girls and girls that are under the age of 18. But that's not the only thing that I want to talk about in this video, because everybody knew that EDP was a creep and a predator even prior to him getting on camera and admitting it himself. What I also want to talk about is just how incompetent these YouTube predator catchers are, because with a cameo from Kayla Hoskins, she reveals just how evil some of these YouTube predator catchers can be, namely Donut Man Jadeon. But if this tea interests you, twin, you might as well come and tap in. Comment for the algorithm. Alright, twin, so the first thing I want to discuss in this video is just how candid
You so bad. You so T.
EDP has been with the fact that he is attracted to underage girls. And like I said in the intro, throughout the years, EDP would go on to deny it or talk around it, and that was obviously because,
you know, I ain't gay or nothing. So whenever I hear So T, twin, I think of that one song from Not Vicious. I don't think of, you know, T girl. I've never used that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because
he was trying to avoid a conviction, and he was trying to avoid getting into jail.
I'm just saying, okay.
But somehow Mike Klum got him to admit to all of this on camera, and he even would admit to this while talking to Chris Hansen, which is where I want to start at.
Why did you go to that location? What?
Okay, first of all, who the fuck is Chris Hansen? I was trying so
What did you
hard.
think was going to happen?
I showed up to that location that day, trying to, obviously meet up with an underage girl. You know what I mean? And I guess you can say, trying to have, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
You trying to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
For the most part, yep.
And I just want to start by saying I really recommend that you guys watch this documentary for yourself on your own time, because when I first seen this, my mouth was just wide open. Even in the trailer, I was just really surprised to see that EDP was talking about all of this so casually. Throughout the documentary, EDP just has this very nonchalant attitude towards the fact that he was trying to victimize a child. And keep in mind, bro, part of the reason why he's free is because Alex Rosen botched his catch. So when you hear about all the horrific crimes that he's committed, when you hear about all the things that EDP himself is admitting to, keep Alex Rosen in your mind, because this guy wants to go on social media and moral grandstand people because he is protecting the kids. Yes, he does good work now, but this is one of the most monumental failures in his career. And in my personal opinion, it is a blight on the careers and the credibility of YouTube predator catchers.
People have a tendency of doing this, I feel like, because they enjoy the innocence and having control of somebody, you know?
Sounds like that's what you wanted to do.
Right.
What the fuck? Why is this shit trending? What the fuck?
Nobody your age you could have hung out with.
No.
No women your age you could date. You had to pick on a 13-year-old girl.
Pretty much, yeah.
Despite this stuff being very, very nasty, it is very interesting to hear how EDP's mind works, because he is saying that it's about control and dominance. And in this documentary, EDP talks a lot about how he wants to basically take a girl's innocence away. He wants to sleep their innocence away, but replace the word sleep with the F word. But I think it's just very telling and very revealing about the headspace EDP was in when he first got exposed for meeting up, or at least attempting to meet up with that girl, Sophia. EDP probably felt like he lacked a lot of control in his life, and to circumvent this, he sought out a child, someone who he could control, someone who he could dominate, and that's what led him ultimately to being caught in a sting operation.
You're so hot and cute and even had me off. Were you masturbating when you were talking to her?
Mm-hmm.
You sent her pictures?
Yeah.
You sent her pictures of your penis?
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Right, I know.
It's illegal. Had Alex Rosen not botched this, you might be in prison right now.
Thank God he didn't.
Well, you could look at it two ways. Maybe prison is where you belong because of this.
if it was where I belong, I'd be in shackles right now. So
And this is what I mean when I say this is a very candid version of EDP. He is literally bluntly admitting that he was masturbating while talking to who he presumed was a child. I just find it so mind-boggling how he's able to talk about this so casually and how he's making such light out of this situation. Especially that comment about how if he was meant to be in prison, he would be in shackles right now. And here's the thing, bro. Obviously, EDP deserves to be in prison, but the reason he isn't is because of dudes like Alex Rosen. And because he botched the Predator catch so badly, now EDP can be smug about the fact that he's a free man despite the fact that he was and still is attracted to underage girls. But let's allow Alex Rosen to give an explanation.
But what accountability can you take in the fact that EDP is free today?
Well, yeah, I mean, I myself could have done a better job of saying, you know, instead of trying to just like, you know, stand my ground, be bullish, standoffish, infinitely more stuff that I could have done to try to make him, you know, to at least put in more effort into hoping that he gets arrested. But, you know, I can confidently say that predator poachers have been responsible for getting like infinitely sicker people in EDP off the streets, and EDP played a part in teaching us that lesson on how to do that.
My thoughts on Alex Rosen is I feel like he's a piece of shit.
So I ended that clip on EDP saying that Alex Rosen is a piece of shit because in that one particular instance, EDP is correct. Now, he's not correct for the reasoning that he gives because he tries to basically turn it into a pity party about how Alex Rosen ruined his life, but we all know that EDP ruined his own life. We need to be honest about Alex Rosen. Alex Rosen botching the EDP catch was one of the most historic failures I've ever seen, and that's exactly why he's a piece of shit. Because if y'all remember, he was advertising this thing for a very long time. He didn't immediately drop the video, and then when he finally dropped it, nothing ever happened to EDP. So while yes, he may have improved since this catch, this is still a blight on his career and his legacy because we're in a future where EDP is just casually admitting to all the crimes that he's committed. And that's partly because Alex Rosen didn't lock in and get him arrested when he had the opportunity.
I do not have a sexual attraction to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Now, mind you, motherfucker, if you 16 or 17, nigga, and you got your titties bulging out, a motherfucker might actually whack off to your pictures a few times.
It's like, what are we doing? You're fucking grown as shit.
Encouraged Kayla Hoskins to continue talking to just so he could get a video, just so he could get content.
My name is Kayla Hoskins, and in June 2023, I received an Instagram DM from EDP445, otherwise known as Bryant. I first replied to EDP because I always reply to anyone who messages me, and I didn't know who he was, but I freaked out because he told me he was suicidal, and sooner rather than later he started sending very flirtatious messages. While later, Jadion added EDP into his Discord filled with kids.
Yo, who? That is not EDP. Who the fuck is that, yo?
For a Q&A.
I'm showing this clip first because this contradicts the story that Jadion and his manager have been saying. They've made the claim that Kayla reached out to EDP first to be a decoy. But this is Kayla bluntly telling us that EDP reached out to her first and she replied. And if you've been keeping up with Kayla, you would know that this has been her story the entire time. And in my personal opinion, the fact that Jadion and his manager have been trying to change the story into her reaching out first, that screams a cover-up. Allegedly, of course. I think this is a cover-up because it just makes Jadion look bad. Not only did he invite EDP to his Discord that is full of minors, but EDP also found a girl to victimize within Jadion's Discord, and the only reason that he would do this is because Jadion invited him in the first place. But if Jadion and his manager spins the story to be that Kayla hit him up first, then they have less accountability that they have to take. They can paint Kayla as an immature kid who just wanted clout. Skeeter Jean literally does that in this documentary, which is something these big YouTubers try to do whenever you push back against them or criticize them. They say you're clout chasing or you're just trying to profit or you're trying to gain something from calling them out. It's always the same MO. But let's continue.
In what way were you his puppet?
I feel like I was his puppet because I was just like kind of doing the things he demanded me to do. I feel like I am a victim of Jadion because he encouraged me to keep talking to a pedophile.
I'm I'm pretty sure Kayla was 15 years old when all of this was happening, and now that she is 18 years old, she is telling us in this documentary she feels like she was a victim of Jadeon because he encouraged her to talk to EDP445. And if you watch this documentary, you'll see just how deranged he is, and that really puts into perspective just how immature and just how irresponsible it was for Jadeon to encourage this young lady to talk to a predator. And Jadeon had a lot of influence. He still has a lot of influence. So for him to be using his influence in this way is just really concerning. And it's really concerning because these are the same exact criticisms that people have had for this guy for all this time. And with this new documentary, now we can see that all of these criticisms that he ignored led to him encouraging, allegedly, a 15-year-old to continue talking to EDP445. But let me show y'all this last part that I think is just honestly really insane.
So I'd like to let the viewers know that I don't know what they're gonna say, but don't believe it. Because I have proof. I'm just too scared to show the proof because Jadeon has a big audience and I don't want them to attack me.
Now,
Oh, pack it up.
before I finish this clip up, I actually had to step in and give my 2 cents here because I can tell you guys firsthand, this is exactly what Jadeon's audience will do. All of you guys as my subscribers know that when I critique Jadeon, immediately I was called a predator by his fans and Jadeon weaponized his fan base to silence me. And I also want to say that in a now deleted stream by Jadeon, he reacted to the video that Kayla Hoskins made on him. And he did this on stream. And after reacting to this video on stream, his fans went to harass her in the comments section. And right now on screen I have a little screenshot as proof, but I really implore you to just go to her video yourself, find the comments from 1 month ago, and you can see how they're all calling her a liar. And the reason they're calling her a liar is because Jadeon brought them to the video after he reacted to it on stream. And so I'm just gonna ask you as the audience a question. Do you genuinely believe that Kayla Hoskins would lie on Jadeon? Do you think that she would go out of her way to tell a tall tale? All that she would be met with is harassment from his childlike audience. And the reason I'm asking this is because in this next part of the clip, you're gonna see Skeeter Jean talk about how I think she was just trying to get a little bit of clout or whatever he's gonna say. But let's just get there.
Maybe she's sort of using the whole situation as leverage to boost her music career and such. So, you know, again, while she's technically, she's a victim, I think she's kind of using the whole situation as leverage to gain followers a little bit.
Before I talk about her laundry list of claims, let's just get something out the way. This goon Skeeter Jean is talking about her using this for her music career and her using this to leverage followers or whatever. But here's the thing. I didn't even know that Kayla was making music prior to Skeeter Jean saying this. And here's another thing. There is no benefit to critiquing or calling out predator catchers on YouTube because all you will be met with is predator allegations. The only reason you will be calling these guys out is if you have a good enough reason. When I was beefing with Jadeon before the internet turned on him, I was met with being called a predator. When I initially critiqued Jadeon when I was 17 and still a minor, I was getting harassed. I didn't even gain anything other than like a couple $100s from the hour-long response video I made. So I say it to say, long term, I really didn't benefit from beefing with Jadeon when I was 17. And the second time, even though I got a lot of eyes on my videos, I was just being called a predator and I was being called a lot of names and I was being harassed up until the internet turned on him. The benefits do not outweigh the cons of critiquing a YouTube vigilante predator catcher. Prior to the internet turning on Jadeon, if you critique this guy, he would go on stream, highlight your channel, and then galvanize his audience to harass you into oblivion. What do you gain as a smaller creator going up against that? Once again, just using myself as an example, before the internet turned on Jadeon, yes, I was getting some views, but most of those people were hating on me. And at the end of the day, we are human. Having an armada of children calling you a predator does not feel nice. And in Kayla's case, she did not benefit from that long term. The video only has 10,000 views as of me recording this, and part of that reason is because Jadeon showcased her video to his audience in order to weaponize them. The reason I feel so strongly about this is because big creators always weaponize the clout chasing card as a shield against any and all criticism, and I'm just really tired of hearing it because it's so disingenuous. They never engage engage with the contents of what you're saying, they just blindly label you as a clout chaser, and Jadion tried to do this to me when we were beefing. So in a way, I do feel like a kindred spirit to Kayla because he did the same exact thing to her. He showed her video on his stream, galvanized his fans, and then had them harass her into oblivion. That guy is evil, no cap. And as for some of these claims, Jadion is a scam artist, factual. Jadion is being controlled by the Illuminati, potentially. Jadion is friends with multiple. That one, I don't know about. If y'all know about that, let me know. But that is a pretty big claim to be made by Kayla. But who knows, maybe in the future, I'll have some information on that. Stay tuned. But let's watch this final part that I want to show you. And it's Kayla basically addressing the whole opportunist narrative.
Personally, am I an opportunist? Yes, I am. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you're not harming anybody. And I don't think I was harming anybody. And especially when you're my age, if you're 16, people are gonna think that you're young and dumb. So you kind of have to be an opportunist. You have to make your own opportunities. You cannot be waiting for them. But this entire situation was not that at all.
And low-key, I don't think there's anything wrong with what she's saying. All she's saying is that as a young person, you gotta go and get your opportunities. You gotta make your opportunities. But in this particular circumstance, this was not her trying to make an opportunity. And I think she had to clarify this because, once again, these big creators love using the whole "you're clout chasing" as like buzzword soup. It's their go-to excuse when it comes to defending themselves against criticism. Jadion tried to use it against me. Skeeter Jean tried to use it against her. I see why she had to explicitly state this. And I really implore you guys to not just take their words at face value. These creators are not the best people. Not all of them anyways. Some of them, okay, they're pretty cool. But in terms of these vigilante predator catchers, they're doing it for the money, which wouldn't be an entirely bad thing if they at least took their work seriously. As you guys have seen in the past year, it's clear to them that this is just spectacle. And the thing with spectacle is that they have to make it even bigger because that's how you get the most views. But with all of that being said, this documentary was indeed a crazy watch. I thought it was a good watch as well, and I really do implore you guys to just watch it for yourselves. Take some time, sit down, and really just watch it so you can see just how depraved the mind of EDP is. Watch it so you can see the dark side of vigilante predator catching. Watch it so you can see what happens when you botch a predator catch. I want you guys to see the type of monsters that can roam amongst us. But that's really all I had to say though. So subscribe for more unsolicited opinions. I love you all. Y'all niggas be blessed. I'm gonna get up out of here. Bye bye.
W fuck that. W fuck that.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?